it's now, I might bring this down. It's now time for me to start doing my meal prep for work for the week. And this week I want to do a crispy teriyaki beef and rice bowl. So all I'm doing first is I'm just going to get my rice going in the rice cooker, because I have a notoriously slow rice cooker. Look, she's great. It was cheap as, nothing fancy about it. It was just a rice cooker. And no, I'm probably going to upset some people here. I do not wash my rice. And guys, I'm 36. I've never washed my rice. I'll be dead honest with you. I am going to crack some salt into it just to give it a little bit of flavouring. And this is going to go in the rice cooker and it's going to happily do its thing. And that was just 1 cup of rice, because this is just purely for my meal prep. Now, so the ingredients I have, and this is, truth be told, a bit of a random throw together, because it doesn't follow a recipe per se. I do have a recipe for a teriyaki sauce, but it isn't a recipe, like it's sort of just coming out of my head. Anyway, so I've got minced beef. That's probably about 400 grams worth. I've got 2 carrots here. I may only use 1, but I plan on grating it. I've got a green capsicum, 1 onion, and some cabbage. That's what we're doing for our veg. Now for the teriyaki sauce, I've got soy, rice wine vinegar, honey, and garlic. So I think we might do the teriyaki sauce first. Let me get a bowl and we can do that. I might get a jug. Where are all my jugs? If I was a jug, where would I be hiding? Bottom drawer maybe? Hey, there we go. Smashing. Right, where's my measuring cups? I almost lost it. First of all, we need a 1/4 cup of soy. You can absolutely just buy a teriyaki sauce. That would work. But, and usually I do have this really nice teriyaki packet sauce. I don't have any, so I'm like, right, we'll just wing it. Hubby found me this recipe on the interwebs, so here we are. Right, now I need my spoon. 2 tablespoons of honey. I always hate squeezing this out with one hand because I do not have the greatest like strength in my hands. Like I really do not have very strong hands. So that's 1. As you can tell, I'm focused like a camera. 2 tablespoons of the honey. Then we want 1 tablespoon of our rice wine vinegar. Beautiful. 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, which, please, I will never measure that accurately. And it also does say 1/2 teaspoon of minced ginger, if desired. Now, I actually do not have minced ginger anyway, but truth be told, I wouldn't put it in even if I did, because I hate ginger. There are some recipes I will absolutely put it in because it definitely needs it. It's like a flavour enhancer, but I hate anything that's very ginger forward, except gingerbread biscuits. All for that. Anyway, that is our teriyaki sauce. That's it. Love that. All right, that's done. Easy peasy. Fab. Now, do I want to start cooking the beef? I think I might. No, I'll cut everything up. I'll make my life simple. If I get all the prep done and out of the way, then it's just done, right? You then don't have to think about it. It's just finished, which is what we like. So, and I think I want a bigger one. Yeah, cool. I love putting my ingredients in bowls, and I know that that's weird because it creates dishes, but realistically, guys, at the end of the day, I'm the one that does the dishes. Well, look, I'm the one that will be doing these dishes because I have created the mess and done the cooking, and it is my lunch or my work lunches, so I therefore don't expect anyone to clean up after me. But all we're going to do is dice the onion, like relatively finely. It can be as fine or as coarse as you want it. I like a little bit of bite to my veggies. I don't like them completely tiny. I'm also that person that gets rid of the end bit because I can never work out a way to cut that, so it's nice. So I do the lazy thing and I get rid of it, but you know what? To each their own, right? To each their own. This might be a little bit too much onion on reflection. This is quite a big onion, but you know, we can always gauge it, and if we don't use it all, we don't use it all. No, I think I'll definitely not use all that, but that's fine. So that's our onion done. Where is my bench scraper? Get yourself one of these bad boys. This is just a bench scraper. I use it heaps in my baking, but also super convenient for picking up stuff off your chopping board and just sliding it into a bowl. Super convenient. Although I did get some on the bench. It's one of those types of things where it's like it's a do as I say, not as I do. Now we'll do our green capsicum. Can also, as I'm sure you know, can 100% do red capsicum with this if you want to, or yellow. As a matter of fact, with the steak, loaded potato steak bowls that we're doing for dinner tonight, I'm doing red capsicum with those. But I just decided that I was going to be different and do a bit of green with my lunch. I quite like the green one. It's not as sweet as red capsicum, I find. I find the green just a little bit more savoury. I don't know if savoury is even the right word. I don't know what the right term for that is, but anyway, it is what it is. But I probably will use all of this capsicum, to be perfectly honest with you, because I like to load the veggies in my work lunches. And like, this is the sort of thing that, look, if I cooked this for the kids, they would 100% eat it. But I feel like this sort of thing is a little bit lost on them. It's not their favourite. They like things like, they would rather have like burgers and salad, chicken schnitzels and salad, or veg. Like, that's the sort of stuff that they really get around, which is fun. And it's also stuff that's easy for me to cook after work. So, you know, I'm not mad about that either. Anyway, so that's our green capsicum all cut up. I think I'll do the cabbage next because I'm grating the carrot. And why am I grating the carrot, you may ask? Well, I will tell you. We're grating the carrot because it will make it quicker to cook. Because carrot is such a hard veggie, as you guys will know, it would take the longest to cook. If I was just to dice it up, it would take a fair amount of time to cook. And the point for me of this meal prep is to make it as quick and as simple as I can. It's a very big chunk of cabbage. I want it to be quick and easy. That's the whole point. Hence why I will be, and look, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I would absolutely just dice it and I'll happily cook it out for longer. It just depends on my mood. But today I very much just want to, is there any big bits in that? Yeah, I can cut that bit there in half. I just want to throw together a work lunch that's going to be super quick and easy, really. So I think I might also cook up a bit of cabbage to have with the steak and loaded potato bowls, but that'll be like an optional for the kids because they're not real big. Like none of them are particularly big on the cabbage. Anyway, I will grate these 2 carrots and then I'll come back to yours because I've been waffling now for like 10 straight minutes. So I've got my wok here. It's had some oil heating up. I've done it deliberately so it's quite hot. And I'm just going to break up that mix. Now, we want to cook it until the beef itself is quite crispy because this is a crispy beef teriyaki rice bowl. So if you've never done that before, like you obviously know when mince is cooked because it's not pink anymore. You want it to go like dark brown. But I'll show you what all that looks like. But this is going to be a very easy throw to get. Our rice cooker is actually almost done. So by the time our beef teriyaki is finished, this whole thing will actually be able to come straight together. And I'm thinking for my breakfast meal prep this week, it's hot. It is a hot week here in Perth. And I'm thinking I might do some birthday cake flavored overnight oats. No, overnight Weetbix. Overnight Weetbix, birthday cake flavour. Come back. I will bring you back when I do that. But one thing at a time. The easiest way I have been able to find to make minced beef crispy is once it's cooked, you sort of get it into a thin, even layer on the bottom of your pan or wok or whatever it may be, and you let it sit there for a minute or so. You don't stir it, nothing. You just let it sit. After a minute or so, give it a quick stir, flatten it all back down again, because that's when it seems to get crispy. Because you want all of any water or anything that's sitting in the beef, you want that to evaporate off. That's when you're going to get your crispy. So we have started to get a couple of crispy bits. Can I find a bit that I can show you? Yes, I think I can. Can you see? I don't know if you can, but it's like it's starting to get crispy. We want it way crispier than that. So we're going to keep going. Right, actually, let me see if I can show you. Our beef is super crispy. I'm hoping you can sort of see that. Yeah. So our beef is really crispy now, which is exactly what we want. Now we're going to go in with the onion. Let that cook off for a couple of minutes because our beef will continue to crisp up, which is exactly what we want. Once the onion goes a little bit translucent, then we're going to go in. Actually, you know what? Chuck the capsicum in now too. Let's speed this along. Let's move it along. So we've got our capsicum and our onion in. They will continue to cook. I've not put the sauce or anything else in yet. Just the beef, onion and capsicum. We'll pop the sauce in shortly, followed by the cabbage. The last thing that'll go in is the carrot because that's going to cook super quick. Can you see that? I hope this justifies the crispiness of the beef. This is turning out better than I expected. The smell. Ooh, and the sauce isn't even in yet. Guys, I fear we're on to a winner. I thought we'd chuck in our cabbage now, and we're going to just sort of really lightly heat that through before we chuck in our teriyaki sauce, only for like 30 seconds or so, just to sort of start, losing a bit of capsicum, just to sort of start the cooking process of that cabbage. God, I'm actually chucking stuff everywhere. Gosh, bit aggressive. Being a little bit aggressive with my mixing. All right, I reckon that's probably good. So we've got our teriyaki sauce. Nice. That's gonna go in. This is only on a medium heat, guys. This is how good the hex-clad pans are. For those of you wondering if they're worth the investment. Yes. They really are that good. All right, give this a bit of a cook. And then in about a minute or so, once our cabbage softens a bit more, we're gonna add in our carrot because it's grated. That's just gonna cook so quickly, so we don't need to do that for long. Like 30 seconds on the heat and that carrot's gonna be done. Now, Just going to get my mound. I ended up grating both of those carrots and I'm going to use them. I figured, who cares? It's 2 carrots. I've done it. I may as well use it. This smells phenomenal. All right. I'll let this go for another 30 seconds. Then I'm going to bring you back to the bench and we'll put everything into our meal prep containers. But this is our lunch done because our rice is cooked. I've just lifted the lid and I've fluffed up the rice a bit, but the rice is cooked. So we are actually good to go. Let us do the all-important taste test of this beef. Oh, that is so good. And it packs an absolute flavour punch. Now, these are the meal prep containers that I use. These are Decor. They're glass, but these are Decor oblong 600 ml containers. I do these for my breakfast meal prep. These are my absolute favourite meal prep containers. So I'm just going to put a bit of rice in each, not too much, because I also don't weigh anything out, guys. Like, I really don't. Usually I would do 4 meal prep containers, however it's rice, and I will do rice for 3 days. I will not do it for 4. 4 is pushing it a bit, in my opinion. 3 is absolutely the maximum that I will push. I'll push that, but I also know that 3 is the absolute perfect amount. 1 cup of rice is the absolute perfect amount for these meal prep containers. So all that rice is now gone. Like I said, that was just 1 cup of rice. So I'm just going to move my wooden spoon. And we're just going to layer that on the top. And there you go. Like, how good is that? And, sorry, I got a bit on the side. Just know that this is for me. I don't need to worry about food safety or anything like that. Like hygiene, it's mine. There would be enough beef here, I reckon, for maybe another 2. Yeah, definitely another 2. Another 2 of these bowls. So what I think I will do actually is I will put them into a container, freeze it, and then come Wednesday night, when these are all used up, I will just make another probably half or 3/4 of a cup of rice, and then that will sort that out. But I'll get one of these Pyrex glass dishes, and I will put the rest in that. So that, realistically, what I've done is meal prep for the entire week. All I'll need to do on Wednesday night is just do up a little bit of extra rice for myself. If I'm clever, what I'll actually do is plan a dinner for Wednesday night that actually requires rice. That would be very smart of me to do. But anyway, crispy beef teriyaki rice bowls for dinner, for lunch, for work, for the week, with a little bit of extra, which will be for Thursday, Friday. Now it's time to move on to brekkie prep. Let me put all of this in the fridge and freezer. I'll wash the dishes and then we'll be right back. For my breakfast meal prep this week, because in the back of my mind I have that it's going to be so hot here in Perth, I just want to do overnight Weetbix because it's going to be ridiculously hot. So in each one of these, and it's the same Decor containers that I used for my lunch meal prep. I've got 2 Weetbix in each. I'm just going to crush them up. Now, I am going to do 2 birthday cake flavoured ones, but I also want might give something else a shot, which is a coffee flavored overnight Weetbix. So that one's a bit of an experimental one. Okay, so I've got 2 crushed up Weetbix in each. Now I'm going to guesstimate about how much milk. I'm going to leave it for a couple of minutes to soak in. If I feel like it's going to be too dry, I'll add a bit more milk. And then with that, I'm also going to do a little dash of pure maple syrup. That just gives the base a bit of sweetness, but not much, just a tiny bit. There you go, just like that. And with a spoon, you just give each one a bit of a mix. And then I do recommend just letting it sit and soak in just for a couple of minutes, because you may need to add more milk. Because if you don't have enough milk, for example, it can be super dry, and then the overnight Weetbix, even though you got to add yogurt to it, then the overnight Weetbix base becomes a bit unpleasant. Anyway, I'll leave these sit for a minute and then I'll come back. You will almost never catch me weighing anything unless it's baking, then I 100% will. But I am going to weigh this. I'm going to do 150 grams of yogurt. This is just light natural Greek yogurt. 125 grams, which is just a serve. So in this bowl, I'm going to do 250 because this is enough for the 2. Oh my God, that's 250 on the nose. And this one is just going to be 125. Oh, that one's a bit much. Yep, there we go. A little bit. Yeah, not a fan of Greek yogurt on its own, but that's completely unflavoured. This one, which is just my one singular, I'm going to do 1 scoop of this Muscle Nation vanilla protein powder. And actually not quite 1 scoop, like 3/4 of a scoop. And a dash of this Nespresso espresso concentrate in the mocha. So this is going to be like vanilla coffee flavoured. I'm hoping this works. I've never done this. This one is 100% the trial. This is why I'm only doing 1 of them. Because if I decide I absolutely hate it, well, then I've only done 1. I haven't wasted a whole week's worth of meal prep on it. Give that a really good mix. It does smell all right. And the reason I did it with the vanilla custard protein powder is because the custard protein powder naturally thickens, which is sort of what you want, because we're adding the liquid coffee concentrate into it. So I thought, well, the protein powder will help counteract the liquid that's going in. Oh, that's very good. I think I might be onto something with that. All right, and in our second one, this is the Lady Shake protein powder in the flavour birthday cake, which is fast becoming my favourite. This is a limited edition one, which makes me really sad. So that's 1. And for this, I will do 2 scoops. 2. I also love this because it's got sprinkles in it. And I'm always down for something that's got like a little bit of fun. The only thing is this, when you're mixing these, you've got to be so careful because protein powder is so fine. And it takes next to nothing for it to puff up into this great cloud of protein powder. As you can sort of see, and I'm spilling it all over the place. I'm trying so hard, but being very unsuccessful. Anyway, I'll give this a mix and I'll come back. Interestingly, the Lady Shake one has gone like wildly thick. Can you see that? Like crazy thick. Whereas the custard one, which usually thickens up, really has not gone super thick. So that's interesting. Anyway, the I'm just going to give this coffee one another good mix because we've got a couple of chunky protein powder bits that I want to get out. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And now it's a simple matter of assembling. Now, because I like it to look nice, which sounds stupid, I know, I make sure the edges are as clean as you can make them. And then it's a simple matter of, you can, if you want to be super precise with the two, you can like, so because how much? So 2 scoops, 50 grams. So you want 150 grams of this mix. Yep. And then all you do is just smooth it out. If you want to be super precise, you can do that. I'm rarely this precise, like rarely. Overnight Weetbix, where I chuck in the yogurt and the protein powder, that's like really the only time I will measure. I don't often do it. Anyway, that's one done. I don't really need the scales anymore because I've weighed one out. Now we get our second one. That will get the rest. You can add some toppings to this if you fancy it. I might, on the birthday cake one, actually on both of them, on all 3 of them, should I say, I might get a Biscoff biscuit and crumble it up on each. That would be super nice, just for it, because it'll give a bit of a crunch element, but I don't think I'll do that until I'm going to eat them, because they will get soggy if you crumble them up now. But the breakfast prep this week, super simple. No cooking required. How easy. And it is going to be delicious. And I've not had overnight Weetbix for, easy since last year. Like, I've not done it for quite a while. I'm hoping this one will thicken up overnight. If not, it'll still taste really good because I've tasted the yogurt. Still tastes super delicious. But you want it to be quite thick because it almost becomes, you know, like those jelly slices where it's got the biscuit base, the creamy middle, and then it's got the jelly top. You almost want it to be a consistency of like a jelly slice. Almost. Oh, that coffee one is good. But that's our breakfast meal prep for the week done too. So simple. Love that. So that is my meal prep done for the week. We've got our crispy beef teriyaki rice bowls, and we've got our birthday cake flavored overnight Weetbix, as well as our tester coffee flavored overnight Weetbix, which I think is going to become an absolute staple because that yogurt is delicious. Anyway, meal prep this week was super simple. Kind of feels almost too easy, but very much looking forward to it. Anyway, I'll bring you back next week, guys, and I don't know, what are we going to do next week? Feel free to drop in some meal prep suggestions into the comments below. I love hearing other people's ideas. I love getting other people's suggestions because quite often it's stuff that I would never have thought about myself. So, what are your go-to meal prep for breakfast and lunch for work, even for dinner? Put some ideas for me down in the comments, guys, and I will see you next week and we'll do it all again. Thanks, bye.